Welcome to Thieves' Cant, a tabletop gaming podcast with your hosts, Jeremy Shane and Chris White.
Welcome in and welcome back. It is Thieves' Cant, Tuesday, January 6th. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
And here we go again. Consecutive days.
New year, new us.
New format.
That's right.
Yeah. If you haven't caught the announcement, you're wondering why we are back one day later. We here in 2026 are going to release on a Monday through Friday schedule. Lucky you.
That's, you know what? Lucky us. We get to do this 5 days a week.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Hey, in today's show, once again, we crack open the lore vault as we get to sit back, relax, and listen to Chris school us on a topic of his choosing, a game-related topic of your choice, Chris. What do we have today?
Well, today, we're going to talk about the Firebird, the Phoenix.
Appropriate in the new year.
Yeah, so it's a new year, and so that evokes that idea of a new beginning, sort of a rebirth, if you will.
Yeah, perhaps you're working on your resolutions and you're feeling renewed.
Right.
Or
yeah,
maybe you've already fallen off.
Maybe you're just rising from the ashes of 2025.
Right.
Yeah. But the Phoenix seemed like a pretty good thing to discuss. Of course, we're not talking about the city in Arizona, right? We're talking about the mythical bird, and then we're going to apply that to some tabletop versions.
I love it.
So
I love it. I don't know a ton about the Phoenix. Only the general concept.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go into the history quite a bit here because the interesting thing about the Phoenix is it's a lot like dragons. And then it seems like almost every culture has their version of a Phoenix myth through history. There's a lot of them. I'm just going to go through a few. But almost every society has this sort of magical bird with these interesting, oftentimes linked abilities or powers. So it's kind of neat. So starting off, we're going to talk about the Egyptians. They would refer to it as the Bennu bird. It was associated with the sun god Ra and the cycle of creation.
Okay.
So it's sort of, again, it symbolized that idea of rebirth, the daily renewal of the sun, right? The sun sets every day and then it rises again the next morning. And so you can obviously see how it would be linked there.
Sure.
It's depicted as a solitary bird that ignites itself, symbolizing vitality.
Little self-immolation.
Sure, right? Good for Phoenix, not good for us. It's the potential for renewal after adversity. Sort of depicted as looking like a heron.
Okay.
Now, the Greco-Roman interpretation of the Phoenix presents a bird that lives for several centuries before it builds a nest, again, sets itself ablaze, and from the ashes a new phoenix rises, symbolizing immortality and renewal. They pictured it as an eagle-sized bird with gold and scarlet plumage.
Okay. So it builds its nest when it's going to die.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe it'd be smarter, like once it's reborn, build your nest and then enjoy it for a few hundred years.
You're right. Well,
right?
That's not how it works, though, right? Yeah. And again, there is a lot of information out there, and I just tried to sift through and find what seemed accurate. What's interesting, even more removed, is the Chinese phoenix, as it's referred to, is the Feng Wang. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. It is revered as the empress of birds. It embodies harmony, balance, and leadership, and it would appear during times of prosperity to bless the realm. So if you see a phoenix, the Feng Wang, that's a good thing.
Okay.
So they were often viewed as feminine compared to the Chinese dragon, which was considered the masculine. Okay. So they were sort of like the feminine and male energies. The Feng Wang is made up of the beak of a rooster. Get ready. The face of a swallow. The forehead of a fowl. The neck of a snake. The breast of a goose. The back of a tortoise. and the hindquarters of a stag and the tail of a fish. So they got it all. I mean,
the real Frankenstein.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Somehow they made it work. But today it looks a little different. It's normally described as a composite of many birds. So, the head of a pheasant, the body of a duck, tail of a peacock, legs of a crane, mouth of a parrot, wings of a swallow, as you do.
Right.
But
right.
It's more birdish in its depictions.
Sounds like ingredients for a potion.
It does. It sounds like, was it John Madden always had the Tudurkin?
Yeah.
That thing may have been a phoenix. We don't know. The Persians, they would refer to it as the Simurgh, known as the firebird, signifying wisdom, healing, the bridge between heaven and earth. In the Iranian art, it's depicted as a winged creature in the shape of a bird that was large enough to carry off an elephant or a whale. So you can see how this is a little different now. We're kind of getting maybe into more of the imagery that we see with the modern phoenix.
What most people would think
in
of,
game.
yeah.
Maybe not in all depictions, and we'll talk about that too. But it appears as a peacock with the head of a dog. Okay, so maybe not completely, and the claws of a lion. But sometimes it would actually have a human face. So go figure. But its feathers are said to be the color of copper. The legends consider the bird so old that it had seen the destruction of the world 3 times over. The Simurgh learned so much by living so long that it is thought to possess the knowledge of all the ages. And in one legend, the Simurgh was said to live 1,700 years before plunging itself into the flames.
Had enough.
It had enough, right? I've seen enough. It's time to go. And in Slavic traditions, the firebird symbolizes light, prosperity, hope, knowledge, and transformation. It has golden feathers, while its eyes were like unto oriental crystal. I don't know what that looks like or what that would be, but it sounds kind of cool. Other sources portray it as a large bird with majestic plumage that grows brightly, emitting red, orange, and yellow light like a bonfire that has just passed the turbulent flame. Again, this is kind of an elegant description.
I like the imagery.
Yeah. The feathers do not cease glowing if removed, and one feather can light a large room if not concealed.
All right. See, now I'm getting game inspiration.
You're starting to see it.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A typical role of the firebird in the Slavic tradition would be in fairy tales. It's an object of a difficult quest. The quest is usually initiated by finding a lost tail feather, at which point the hero sets out to find and capture the live bird, sometimes of his own accord, but usually in the bidding of a father or king. You get that quest, right? Okay, now start to see it, right? It's coveted. The firebird's a marvel, highly coveted, but the hero, initially charmed by the wonder of the feather, eventually blames it for his troubles. And one more, and then we're gonna get through these. But hey, it's the lore vault, right?
We're deep in it.
We are. In the Arabian tradition, the Anqua, it inhabits the highest mountain peaks beyond mortal reach. She is said to fly far away and only appear once in ages. However, it is also said that she can be bound at the place of the setting of the sun. Described as a very beautiful bird with a colorful long neck, human face in this case, 4 pairs of wings, and some resemblance with every living being. It eats nothing except elephants and large fish. So
very specific tastes.
Right. I mean, we all love a little elephant for a snack.
Very picky eater.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's that idea of a wise bird with experience gained through many ages. It gives admonitions and moral advice. But it also was associated with calamity. Because the bird was said to be originally created with all perfections, but became a plague or scourge and was killed. So each culture's interpretation of the phoenix, sort of reflects this unique perspective on life, death, rebirth, and it makes the phoenix a timeless symbol of hope and resilience.
Yeah.
For all these different cultures.
Those shared themes.
It does. And so, of course, we have our own interpretations of the phoenix, right? You think about Jean Grey in the X-Men, right? That Phoenix Force that overtook her, and then the Dark Phoenix and all that saga. Or you think of Fawkes in Harry Potter, right?
Okay.
In that one in particular, I know it stood out that it was said they could carry a great weight. And, of course, it ended up saving Harry and carrying him. So, yeah, we have all sorts of references to the Phoenix now. Like I said, Phoenix, Arizona, obviously named after the bird. So I think they should be the Phoenixes, not the Cardinals, right?
Right.
Doesn't that seem cooler?
Or the Suns. I mean, that one makes a little
Yeah,
more
it does
sense.
make sense. Yeah. But anyway, so now, bringing it into like a tabletop perspective, right? Doing a little research here, I had trouble finding the first edition. The problem I had with all of this was the internet is not the most reliable. So if I don't have book in hand, it is sometimes really hard to differentiate between homebrew and official documentation.
Sure.
Right? So like in first edition D&D, I could find a lot of lore. I couldn't find a lot of statistics on the creature. One thing I found interesting though was, and we're going to see this theme come up over and over again, that this is a really good creature, like really good, like the symbol. They actually often live near gold dragons. They just kind of vibe off each other. Now with second edition, they were in the monster manual. It was super easy. And I had all kinds of information. And I think this is probably when most people think about the Phoenix in games, it's very similar to this one. It's a great extraplanar bird, represents the spirit of freedom and rebirth. It's got like a 40-foot wingspan. So this thing is huge, bright multicolored feathers. And they get all the way into like all the coloration of each feather. And all this, so there's lots of details there. But the main point is that these things are very rare. They're usually solitary. They are smart, which makes sense, given with some of the mythology that we saw.
Well, the longevity of their lives, yeah.
Yeah, they are considered genius-level intelligence. So this is not a dumb bird. This is a very smart bird, right? Alignment, neutral good, pretty powerful, obviously. They have a piercing shriek. They have access to a ton of spells. This thing is a full spellcaster. And I thought it was kind of cool that some of the spells, they actually, the way they cast the spell is actually through like a dance. So it's like, like kind of like a fancy like mating dance. I mean, obviously not a team to mate, but it's the 40-foot bird.
If you see it start to dance,
you better be careful. But there was the idea that they could also essentially blow themselves up. They could light themselves on fire. Everybody around them gets lit on fire, and a new phoenix pops out. So it's kind of a similar idea. It talks about there's a lot of mystery around the phoenix. There should be a lot of mystery around the phoenix, but they definitely call out that it is obviously a champion of good. They don't actively seek out evil, but they don't pass up the opportunity if it presents itself. It does have that symbol of creation and destruction. So an evil society might revere them for, the destructive fires that they have, but all and their power. But all in all, this is a good creature, and its value to alchemists cannot be understated.
Oh yeah,
every part of a phoenix is basically harvestable. Every part of it has potent magic, usually for healing. Because one thing I didn't mention, the phoenix can just heal on touch, like that's a thing it can do. So
yeah.
They've always been strongly associated with this idea of being able to heal. So it's the destructive power, but it's also this new creation, this positive energy.
What about protective magic? Like maybe fire resistance or immunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their spell list is massive.
Well, in terms of what you could create from.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. There's an extensive list of things you could do. The only problem is, in a lot of cultures, people are scared to buy this stuff. Like it's considered a real ill omen to kill one of these things, obviously, and possessing the parts is
it's self-immolated, I swear.
Yeah. So don't ask where that wand of healing came from.
Okay.
Just buy it and don't ask too many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
have you ever encountered a phoenix in play? Has a GM ever thrown one at you?
I don't think I ever have.
Yeah. I can't say I have. I think I would remember.
Yeah, but it's an interesting creature. I mean, it really is. And you go through like third edition. It doesn't seem to be changed very much, though it's not in the monster manual. Couldn't locate it in any of my books that I had. I'm sure it was in a later release. Fourth edition, I also did not have. I couldn't find too much, but it seemed like in third edition it was pretty similar to what we had in second. Fifth edition. Well, this is where things change. So this is where the angry rant starts to come in.
Oh.
Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, which is an interesting book. I like some of the lore that they created in this book, some of the conflicts, some relationships. the details they provided. However, the Phoenix got miserable treatment in this book. So I want you to bear in mind.
Got done dirty, huh?
They got done dirty. Yeah. So, I mean, think about what we talked about, all the things we've talked about, right? This is what 5th edition. This is the 5th edition version of the Phoenix. An elder elemental possessed by a need to burn everything to ash. The Phoenix rarely stays in one place for long as it strives to transform the world into an inferno. Yeah. Wow. Cool. That's it.
But like, where's the renewal? Where's the rebirth?
Yeah. So it's considered a gargantuan elemental of neutral alignment. It has an intelligence of 2. Remember that genius we talked about in 2nd edition?
So it
is a big, dumb fire elemental in the shape of a bird.
It's a big, dumb, destructive elemental, essentially.
Yes, that's all it is. A bird-shaped, took the
force of
bird cookie
destruction.
cutter. Yes, that's all it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it's pretty gross. It does have legendary actions. I mean, it's powerful. No doubt it would be a powerful enemy. So I'm not sure who's responsible for this, but I know Mike Merle's and Jeremy Crawford's names are on the front of the book, so I'm going to blame them.
Hey, the buck stops there, right?
And they're going to get my derision, and I may never forgive them because the Phoenix deserves better.
Yeah. Tell Mike and Jeremy that Chris and Jeremy are
displeased. Yes, that's right. Of course, they don't work for the company anymore, but still an online apology would be acceptable.
Right.
No, but again, the Phoenix is a great creature. I would like to see this used more. I mean, it's that symbol of against impossible odds. You know, you're falling to the lowest of low, and yet that idea that you can rise up as something even greater and stronger, renewed, that's timeless. I think that's why it's so appealing to different societies. You know, this idea that, you know, each generation comes and goes, and empires rise and fall. And so the Phoenix is really symbolic of all those things. And yeah, I wouldn't use them lightly. I wouldn't have them running around everywhere, but what a powerful symbol. And in a moment of, you know, when dire defeat seems obvious, a Phoenix might be just the ally that the party's been praying for.
How would you use the Phoenix at your game table? Or maybe you've seen the Phoenix in action. How did that play out? You can let us know in the comments. You can email thievescantcast@gmail.com. Chris, thanks for the deep dive today.
It was deep. This may not happen every time.
I'm burning with the lore of the Phoenix.
Yeah, you are. I can't wait to see you rise up again.
We will rise up tomorrow when we come back for another show and we dive into the Forge of Creation. Tomorrow, Chris, we're going to make a monster in the Forge.
Yeah, we are.
Sound good? I don't know if it can match the Phoenix, but we'll see what we can do.
It's going to be good.
All right. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Once again, I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
It's been Thieves Can't. So long.
Thank you for listening to Thieves Can't. Email thievescantcast@gmail.com.